Welcome to the party. No gossip, just saying with Jodi and Jenn.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to No Gossip, Just Saying. I'm Jenn. And today we're talking about something that has become a non-negotiable for me.
And I'm Jodi. Protecting your space, people, your mental space, your emotional energy, and just generally your peace. But before we get into that, girl, I have a little side thing I want to do because it just crossed my mind.
Little shout out.
A little shout out because one of our amazing instructors, Rebecca, who is dinner and a show people, dinner and a show. Anyhow, I was at her class last week and she pulled me aside after class and she said her mom and her book club, her entire book club,
yes,
listens to our podcast on the regular. So they basically download it, listen to it, and discuss. I mean, we're like a book club that's like with no pages.
Snaps, just snaps, okay?
You
snaps,
ladies.
Girls. We see you, girls. Hey,
ladies,
love you.
You are rocking it. We are so proud of you. You listening to all these topics and pitching in. I can hear you from here. And I hear you cheering. And we just want to shout out to the book club. We love you. And let's get right into the topic now, Jenn.
Protect your peace. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Because listen, okay, that is not just a bumper sticker, okay? Mm-hmm. You, me, ladies at the book club, and all the other people that are listening, you know what I'm talking about. You know when the energy sucks, the energy vampires have been around, okay?
Yep.
And this is why this whole concept is going around like wildfire. Protect your peace. Protect it at all costs. And the older we get, the less tolerance, at least I know that I have for it. No?
Oh,
Anyone?
absolutely.
Anyone?
The people, the situations, the drama, all the negativity. We are so over that.
Well, and it's because we have to start talking about boundaries. Because of all this, boundaries are created. We have to choose joy. We don't just get it. We have to choose it because there's all kinds of other crap running around, right?
Yeah.
And it's driving our bad energy out and saying, no, thank you. No, gracias.
Yep. It's
no,
kind of like getting rid of the vampire.
No, gracias.
No, thank you.
So protecting your space. What does that actually mean? Okay.
You know, it's about being intentional, I think, with your mental and emotional energy.
Well, it's also to not letting every person, every situation, every problem have access to you. And let me tell you this. So I go to this massage therapist. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. But this has a point, I swear. But you might have to remind me to come back to it. So just keep me on a leash here. But here's the deal. If you feel like somebody is being an energy vampire around you, you can listen, you can have empathy, you can have pity for that person,
right?
But you don't wear their problems like the cuddly shawl or sweater that you feel like wearing on a cold freaking rainy day.
Yep.
Because their problems don't become your problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but that is a tough boundary to understand. Sure, it sounds very obvious, but think about it. We are in the business of joy and creating happiness. And when people that we are close to, right, whether it's friends, family, members, anybody, they come in and listen, we all have heavy shit that happens to us, right? And when you are around people in a safe space, you maybe are a little bit more comfortable sharing it, right?
True.
So that's really what I want to dissect in this podcast today.
You know, you get people that come into the studio, come into your life, come into wherever's going on, and they bring this toxic energy with them because something's happened that's affected them. Yeah. And now they're transferring it onto you, whether they mean to or they don't. They are, it can be a look.
Yes.
It can be a statement. It can be a conversation. And sometimes it's an email that can trigger you.
Yes.
And I've seen, and you and I have experienced this together because we'll talk each other off of ledges sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I think that's even what brought us to this topic in the first place is protecting your space because sometimes people try to creep in on it and take over that good feeling that you have by smearing whatever's happening in their life all over you. And you know what? You got to deflect it. You got to get rid of it. And you were starting to talk about your massage therapist. And I remember the story you told me, but I want you to share that with people because it's really cool.
So I was going through something personally and still am, but have since done the work or continue to do the work of not wearing this toxic energy as it's my own problem, and it's gonna let me like drown myself into sorrow down at the bottom of the pool. Like it's just not going to happen anymore. But it wasn't until, I don't know why, but I just had this huge light bulb when I was having my back worked on, and God love this woman because, like, let me tell you, like, her freaking hands are magical, and so her elbows. Like, by the way, my massages are not like a tickle fest. No, it's like, cool, like get the friggin' but it's pressure point, right?
If I don't feel your elbow through my back and into my front,
it's just not my thing.
Why am I here?
Yeah. So anyways, and sometimes like if I talk a little bit, she'll talk back or not talk back to me, not like
smack.
No, you didn't, naughty girl. No, it's not like that. No, it's more she will answer me or she'll carry on a light conversation, and sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I just need to chill and whatever. Anyways, I was sort of like, I didn't even know I was doing it, but releasing just this like this toxic stuff that was happening with somebody in my family. And it was just heavy because I love this person so much, but it was just, oh my God, down an entirely crazy train rabbit hole. And it was just going on. And no matter how much you coach and counsel and you're there, they just don't want to hear it, and they're going to do whatever the hell they want. And that's, by the way, a reality to everybody, right? But it was so hurtful. And I was just taking it on, like, and I didn't even realize I was taking it on myself. Like it was my own traffic jam, right? And she was talking about a somatics class that she took. Right. And she said, because I'm a massage therapist, it's almost like doing hair, or it's like doing whatever, where you have your customer, your whoever is paying you to do your service, you have them captive.
Yeah.
Right. They're just sitting there. So if they want to strike up a conversation, you're going to listen and you're going to coach and counsel, but you're also, walking a fine line between telling them off or just having empathy and listen. And she said, I needed to take a really, really good hard look at researching somatics. And she said, and I found this class because think about how much people tell me. And I'm working on their body. I have physical touch to their body. If I transfer that into their body, it is going to go so sideways, it's not even funny. And then that affects my livelihood, right? Yeah. And then I'm left with all of this emotionally heavy shit.
Yeah.
Right?
So you got to do an energy audit.
It's an energy audit, right? And so she taught me this concept in a really easy way, just that like energy is like a blanket, right? You either wrap yourself around your own energy with good or bad. You can also not realize that you grab other people's blankets and you don't even realize it. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad, right? Yeah. So it's about watching out for the bad. And it doesn't mean you're mean and you're cold and you don't have empathy for people. It just means that you need to be able to identify what blanket you're putting on. Like if you have your own, you're always going to have your own, and that's okay. And listen, we all can be toxic. It doesn't mean we're toxic. It can mean,
I was just going to say, you also have to be careful of transferring negative energy to other people.
Absolutely.
So we're not just talking about being on the good side of everything.
No.
We also have our own
take responsibility.
We have our own personal baggage and troubles, and we have to be aware, are we transferring this negative energy over to somebody else? Without intention. Like a lot of times, like you said, sitting at the hairdresser, sitting in the massage, laying down in the massage room, that is where you're going to maybe release that conversation. So you have to be aware. Every human being has to be aware of protecting their own space.
Yes.
So that they're not emitting the negative energy.
Yes.
Or absorbing that negative energy. So you have to almost do a regular check on yourself every day.
The energy audit.
The energy audit.
Yeah.
Where you look at yourself and you say, how do I feel today? How do I want to present myself today? And I think that's why we talk about choosing joy. I think, versus just having joy and feeling joy.
Yep.
You have to wake up every morning and choose your attitude, choose your mood, choose what energy you're going to put out into the world. And I think if more people wake up and choose the good, the joy, the focus, even though you got shit to deal with that day and it might be hard, if you pick the right attitude the minute you put your feet on the ground in the morning, I think you're off to a much better start.
And when you put your feet on the ground, to your point, sometimes shit's bad. and it's hard.
Yeah.
But the only thing that can pull you out is you. And it has to be some self-talk that's real simple. That's like, you know what? I can turn this around today. I love the phrase, I'm just sick of being sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick of being sick. I'm sick of being depressed. I'm sick of being sad. I'm sick of being, and like, listen, we're not a self-help book, but like I've lived this. You've lived this. And sometimes you go through the motions and just say, okay, you know what? I got to reset myself here. And self-talk is a very powerful thing. And I think part of resetting yourself is also taking accountability and responsibility for what blanket you're wearing.
Yeah.
Being very self-aware of that. And then projecting that out and being aware of where other people are too.
Exactly.
Like there's sometimes where you might want to share with, let's say, a really close friend, but maybe that close friend is going through some heavy stuff. Is it appropriate? Maybe not, you know? And so you become so much more responsible with your interpersonal relationships.
Exactly. So we all have confidence. We all have close friends that we rely on for different conversations. But sometimes that person might not really be emotionally available for the heavy shit that you just took on yourself. Yeah. And so you need to find another outlet. And what that looks
Very
like
well said.
Is going to have to be internally figured out. But before you project, it's like think before you reach out and snap somebody or reach out and unload a whole thing that's going on. Look around you, being aware of not just yourself, but your environment. And you know what? Quite frankly, this leads us to an important discussion that we're not going to get heavily into, but you know what? There's therapists out there. There are professional individuals who you can go and hire and talk to on a neutral level. That's why they're there. It's like we all rely on our friends, and not everybody is in a position to be going to therapy. But it's become, I think, ever since the challenges of the last few years that happened nationally, internationally, worldwide, I think people have now embraced that
therapy
help,
that concept
that it's out there now. It's easier to get. You can get it online now. You don't have to go to somebody's office.
Well, and the cool part about therapy, and I'll just touch on this for a second, is that therapists don't fix. They don't fix you, but they give you tools, right? They give you tools, but the work is done within yourself, you know. And I think that's a good thing to point out, because everybody, you know, who's enthralled with this idea of a therapist, and then they go and then they don't come out like singing and skipping. They're like, well, what the hell was that?
Right.
You're like, well, what did you think is going to happen? Like,
well, exactly.
It's a little deep and not fun sometimes, friends, but this is because we all are working on ourselves or our relationships or whatever it is. So, so they're there, but they're tool masters, right? That's what they are. They're tool masters. They show you and give you tools and maybe lead you to some places to discover things, right? So let's get back to the concept of an energy audit. And I know this wholeheartedly, and I've learned it this year, of the vampire energy sucks. Oh my God. And listen, and these come in all kinds of forms. Yeah. These people do not mean to be it, right? Yeah. They don't mean to be it. It kind of goes to the last point of, okay, they're unloading their blanket a little too much on me or whoever, right? Yeah. That's really what's happening. They don't mean to be vampires. They're not aware, right?
Yeah,
they're just not aware.
The audit then would be kind of like, after spending time with certain people, you have to ask yourself, how do I feel?
Yes. Right? Do I feel drained? Do I feel anxious? Yeah. Do I feel exhausted? It's about being present and not just going through your emotions and emotions throughout the day. It's going, ooh, how did that feel? And I think once you start doing that, you become actually quite sensitive to it, but sensitivity to it actually means better efficiency. They don't realize it, but they just take. They're drowning you, they're drowning themselves, and they don't even realize it because they're just so consumed with what's going on.
Right. And then it's transferring over to you because you've been taking in all of their negative energy. And so now you don't even realize it sometimes, but it consumes your whole self to the point where all you can think about during that day or that night is you're now trying to trouble solve for them because they've put it so heavily into you that your focus is no longer on the things that you should be doing, but you're focused on their problem and everything that's going on in their world.
I think I love the emotional blanket visual.
Yeah.
It's really good, isn't it? Like,
It
I
is.
love that this massage therapist told me this, because it's really good to allow yourself the permission to stop when you're exactly where you're at with what you're saying. You're like, oh my God, I'm just thinking about the blah, 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 blah. And you're literally overwhelming yourself, not even realizing. And you can say, you have the permission to say, stop. I still care about this person, whatever, but it's time for me to take their emotional heavy blanket off.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything with it.
Right.
Right? Like, and literally use the support tool of self-talk and say that to yourself. I've tried it. It's wildly powerful.
So it creates distance.
It creates distance without making you feel like you're abandoning them or you don't care.
Right. Because at first, you think that seems harsh.
It seems harsh or cold. Right.
But you're really just creating the boundaries that you need to establish, because you can't help them if your emotional cup is empty, right?
Right.
You can't fill a cup when yours is empty.
Yep.
And they're draining you dry. It's no good. So I mean, maybe there's some questions you can ask yourself.
Yep.
To try and support this energy audit while you're going through it. Like after spending time with this person, you can say, how do I feel? Do I feel better or do I feel worse?
Yep. You can ask yourself, is this relationship reciprocal?
Yeah.
Are they asking and inquiring about things going on with me as much? Are they sharing good stuff with heavy stuff? Are they balancing not only the back and forth volleying that you do when you talk to somebody?
Yep.
Or is it constantly that one-way piece that's getting heavy for you?
Exactly.
And when I say reciprocal, I yes, but I think the more important point is it constant? Is it constantly like this? And this is a really easy way to do an audit.
Yeah.
Think back for the past year, people that stand out in your life, good, bad, indifferent, anywhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Listen, everybody goes through shit. It's just called life, right?
Exactly.
And this is why we have friendships and interpersonal relationships that we depend on when we have the confidence to share with them. But look at that person that stands out. Have he, she been going and literally putting the negative blanket on you the whole time? Has it, like, you know what I mean? Like I think to me, that's where I start doing my audit. That's what starts giving me really good, I hate to say it, but metric data. Like, is this good, bad, or hey, is it a balance? And, everybody's answers are going to be different.
Of course. Yeah. So another question that you can ask yourself is, do I feel safe being myself around this person? Sort of, or am I always walking on eggshells? And I use that phrase a lot. There's certain people who are, in my world, and sometimes I feel like I have to constantly walk on eggshells around them because they might explode, or they might, just not like what I said, or they're going to disagree immediately. So I just tippy toe around them. And guess what? I back up and back up and back up every time I have to do that, because I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I've accomplished enough as a human being and experience that I don't have to walk on eggshells around anyone. I get that every now and then somebody's going to have a day. But if I constantly have to walk on eggshells around you, you will not see me much longer. I have now made a choice.
Right.
And so it's a good audit question. It's like, am I constantly walking on eggshells around this person?
Yes.
If the answer is yes, and it's a family member, you're going to probably have to find a way to work through it.
Right.
But if not, it might not be a person that's a good part of your life. You may need to do some shedding.
Yeah. I also think too, I would love to get to a place. I would love all people to get to a place where, if you've been the backer upper, or you've been the person that made that person back up, and all of a sudden there is that void of each other, that it would be okay to have that honest conversation to say,
I like that.
Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Did I do something?
Yeah.
And that other person is able to say, you know what? Here's the thing. I just felt like you were you're wearing that really negative emotional blanket a lot. I hear you, I feel you, and I see it, but it was a lot for me to take on for that length of time, and I just had to back away. It doesn't mean I'm breaking up with you, because I love you to pieces, but I need some, I need a little bit of lightness, right? I need a little, like, listen, I'm here for the good and the bad, but I don't know if you realize this, but it was just a little heavy. I know you're going through some stuff, but my cup wasn't totally full to be able to handle all that heavy.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be if we could all communicate that way? God, it makes me like almost tear up. I am asking for world peace, damn it.
Just everybody be perfect, damn it. Just start now. So it's, it's respecting boundaries.
Yeah.
Ultimately is what we're saying. And, do they take accountability?
Oh, this is a big one.
Or are they always playing the victim?
Okay, so one of our instructors, Jenn Boldry, who is like our Yoda. I love her to pieces. And she's familial and has been for a very long time with me.
Of course.
Her whole family. And she said to me once, like, oh my gosh, years ago, when I was going through something, and I don't know why, but she like felt it, and she's like, what's going on, girl?
Oh, she is
and it
intuitive.
Was yeah. And you know what she said to me, and I loved it. She said, because I was like, well, I wasn't wrong, but like I wanted to fight, not her, but my situation. I want to fight Jen B. No, I didn't. But I was
really
like,
strong. I
she's
don't want to
really
fight
strong
her.
too. Yeah, I don't want to fight her. No, but I was like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Like I was trying to tell her my side of this situation, and she's like, okay, and you probably didn't, but you know what? At the same time, this person felt this way, and she said, Jen, it's not about your feeling was right and theirs was wrong. That was their feeling.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to say, I'm sorry if you blah, blah, blah. And you don't have to say, I'm sorry, but it wasn't that way. You can still have empathy for that person, even though in your mind, this is what really happened and this is how it went and I wasn't at fault. And she said, look, girl, you know what? I was always taught in all my therapy sessions, pick up the broom, own your side of the street to sweep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And be okay with that. And just say, listen, I'm really sorry that hurt you that way. That's not you saying, I'm sorry I suck. That's just saying, I'm really sorry that hurt. Like, are you sorry that person's hurting? Probably. Whether you were wrong or right. I mean, conflict sucks. It just does. Let's be honest, right? Yeah. I thought that was a really good point. So own your side of the street to sweep, ladies and gentlemen.
I do. I love that.
Be the garbage man.
Wait, what? Jen be the wise. She is.
Jen be the wise.
She really is.
Do you know what's really funny, by the way? I call her Jen B, but when I say it fast, I think that I'm saying John B, like from the Outer Banks.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that.
Okay, John B.
Too.
By the way, Outer Banks. The third season was a little weird, but I loved me some season 1 and 2. John B.
Yeah.
Damn. And that might make me sound like Mrs. Robinson, but I don't care because he's kind of hot. I mean, if I were that age, come on, Gen Zer. Come on, LJ.
At least over 30
Is John
now?
B hot? John B's hot. What?
Well, I think
What?
I watched like the first season. I don't watch TV.
So when we say setting boundaries without guilt, talk to me, Goose. What does that mean?
Yeah, you set boundaries. It's just that,
You're like, you just said it, dumbass.
You just set them. You just set them.
You're like,
Come
well,
on now.
you kind of are a scene stealer for that one. But no? Okay.
But I know this is where people struggle, right? They're feeling
Yes.
guilty, and they do, especially women. Okay,
Yes.
I hate to say it. It's true. We're taught to be super accommodating, right? I mean,
We are fixers.
We are fixers. You need help. We feel the obligation to help. And, we always put others first because, I don't know, it's just for some reason it's innate in a lot of women.
We say yes, and not just to the dress. We say yes to everyone.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and I think we
What's up
see
with me and
boundaries.
the TV shows today.
I think
don't know.
you're on a roll. You're on a roll. But I think we see boundaries as being like mean or aggressive instead of tools, like to support your own mental health. Because engineer. So think about the minds of women. It's like we lean more into the emotional sides of things by our nature. Now that's not true for all women, of course. There's women who are very structured in their thinking. They're very analytical. They're very critical thinkers. But for the majority, I think we lean into the emotional side.
Yes.
So we feel more.
And I think with that being said,
Yeah.
we need to adjust that way of thinking and not lose it, but also evolve it and realize that emotions are, do I dare say it? They're data. data points. Like they're
Right.
and they're actually they're key markers on a map to go, oh, got it. That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
You know, they're riddles, not riddles. They're more like clues to tell us, oh God, we got to do it that way. Not just, oh God, they don't like us, or oh God, everything's bad. Oh God, let's just all go and like pray together and like hug and do kumbaya. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, that feels good, and I like it too. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a softie. I'm a softie at the end of the day.
You're a
But the
softie.
drama.
But if
Yeah.
we want to circle back to it, let's see, how do we set these boundaries without guilt?
Yes.
So, boundary
Very well said.
setting 101, shall we call it?
Yep.
I mean, first, I think you got to realize that no is the complete sentence. Sometimes it's okay to just say
No.
no, thank you.
No,
can be
no
polite about it.
gracias.
You don't have to be rude.
No
You can say,
gracias.
no, thank you. Because if you're already building up
No
an excuse in
gracias.
your mind, the answer is probably no.
And on that point, you also don't owe whoever you just said no to the explanation.
Correct.
That's why no is the complete sentence. No period.
Yeah.
No exclamation point. Well, maybe not an exclamation point. That's
I love it because when you over-explain, you're giving them room to fight you back, to argue with you, right? To set the argument up.
And nobody likes, this is sales 101. Nobody likes empty space when everybody stops talking.
True.
So the reason why we say no, but here's the reason why, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
we can't shut up because that awkward silence, empty space is exactly that awkward.
Right. So state the boundary.
Yeah.
Give your response and then move on, right?
Yes.
Into the next. So another concept would be accepting that some people are going to be unhappy or angry with that choice.
Ooh, yes.
And
And you can tell yourself it's okay that I'm the bad guy in this situation.
their
I'm the bad
reaction
guy.
is not your responsibility.
No, that's theirs. That's on them. This is you. This is you. You set the boundary. They don't like the reaction. You can't control how they're going to feel. You have to be polite but firm with where you are to protect your peace. That's it.
Exactly. And then be consistent. Consistency
yes.
is key.
Yes.
If you set a boundary, stick to that boundary, guys.
Yes.
Don't cave in just because someone else pushed back. Because if you cave in once, guess what? They're going to start to manipulate you.
Yes.
So don't leave cracks in the foundation, guys.
I think the moral of the here's list 1 through 10 of how to do this is because healthy people respect boundaries, you will reflect that and you will get that back, right?
Yep.
Respect your own boundaries, respect other people's boundaries, and you will get that back in spades. And if you live by that credo or just even do it today and it feels okay, do it tomorrow, do it the next day, do it the next day, do it the next day. And you'll find sooner than later, you'll say, God, there's just not been a lot of drama I've been having to deal with. And sometimes there is drama, but you know what? Prolonged, consistent, long-term drama, energy suck. And sometimes it's okay to be alone with your own thoughts. It's alone time in the garden. It's alone time cooking. It's alone time being with yourself. It's okay. Don't know where I was going with that, but
So,
I guess we all cook alone now.
Well, we've spent a lot of time talking about, what to remove, right?
Yes.
And setting boundaries. So let's talk about what we can add.
Yes.
And that thing is joy. Really look at choosing joy and wrapping up the whole conversation today on a really high note, a nice positive note. So let's choose joy
and be intentional about doing it. Say, I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
And part of doing it is also identifying, again, remember that energy audit, who, where, when, what, why, and say, you know what, that person, that reflects positively on me. That person gives me a lot of happiness. Like that lifts me up. Because remember, energy begets energy, right? Energy attracts. So the energy you're putting out, you're going to get back. If you don't see it right away, you will very soon.
Oh, karma's for real too. So choosing joy, what does that mean? Well, I think it means surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, right?
Yes. It means you look at who lights you up, what groups of people light you up, even if they're silly. And by the way, I'm a huge proponent of silly. Like those of you out there that think that silly is ridiculous and like unnecessary, honestly, the people that I find most joyous to be around, and I look around and it's infectious, are the people that can just laugh a little bit, including at themselves.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that because I did put on that onesie one time and went sprinting into the class, and it had glitter.
It had glitter and sequins, and it was a one shoulder diagonal number, and she went sprinting into class, and it was so funny because one of our members goes, oh my God, the first class I ever took, I just remember, who's that really tall, pretty lady? Jodi. Yeah. I just remember she came in with a diagonal one-arm sequins leotard doing jazz walks, and then she like just vanished. And I was like, oh my God, these are my people.
That really happened.
It really happened.
Somebody brought in old
She did.
costumes.
Old
from
costumes.
Their
Just
kids.
why? I don't know.
And
But it was fun. We were here for it. Somebody was Richard Simmons. I don't know.
Somehow that one fit me, and I felt like I needed to model it to the entire class. Sorry. Anyways, sorry, not sorry.
I love it. Surrey, not
response,
Surrey.
In response to you liking silly people.
Yes.
That's why we hang out.
That's why we hang out. Okay, facing forward and going forward here.
God. So it's really choosing joy is about whatever fills your cup, guys. And it means protecting that joy. So
yes,
not letting the negative people or the situations steal that joy from you.
Yeah. And I think it's also about, like we said earlier, like shit's going to go wrong, right? You might do something wrong. God forbid you're human. Yep. Jesus help us, right? But you know what? If somebody has the courage and the diplomacy to say, hey, I didn't really love that, that was said. Is that what you meant or whatever? Mm-hmm. You know what? Own it. Like, okay, you didn't mean to. Fine. Then just say, oh my gosh, I am so sorry that hurt you. It didn't even hit my brain that I did that. Gosh, thanks so much for telling me and including me. Like, wow. Okay, you give me a lot to think on, but thank you. Like just own it. Just own it. It's okay. It doesn't mean like you're giving somebody your firstborn your house and your favorite outfit. Okay. Like it just means get over it.
Okay. I think it's time to start wrapping it up, but with some practical tips.
Practical strategies.
Strategies as they may be to protect your personal mental space.
Limit social media.
Oh, I like that.
By all costs.
I like that. So yeah, social media, as brilliant and as fun as it can be.
It's comparative, which breeds negativity. It's crazy.
Suck your life. There's so much negative, weird stuff going on on social media that, and not, half of it's not even real anymore.
No, half of it's just AI generated so people can get hits so they get paid. Duh.
Exactly. So limit your social media. Choose, wisely.
Choose wisely. And if somebody is just putting out negative, unfollow, block, whatever you need to do. Yep. You're not basically telling them to go F off. They don't even know half the time that you're not following me. Don't worry about it. Don't stress out about it. The second strategy that I would say, and I love this one, is your physical environment, right? It really affects your mental state, right?
Yeah.
So declutter, clean, find the spaces that make you happy. Oh my gosh, shameless plug. I was just at the Arte Museum in New York City.
I know. I'm going to go in a
greatest place ever. If there was like a season pass and it was in Raleigh, I'd be there like probably an hour a day.
Just lay down on the floor.
Yes.
And absorb it.
Yes. That is like that is the good. Like yes, and yes, and yes. Look it up, people. Look it up, people. It's great.
So if you can't translate your home into the experience that she's talking about,
into the sanctuary of digital art and smell and sensory, what can you do, Jodi?
Well, for $200.
Well, Bob, for $19.95.
So if you can't have your own New York City museum experience, which is phenomenal, you want to create a sanctuary in your own home. Do you see how my voice went all buttery?
It was sultry and I liked it.
I went into butter voice.
Like, hey, Gunther, be a good boy and bring me a whiskey.
After I taught tramp class the other day, somebody came up to me after and said, you need a 1-900 number. And that was after teaching a tramp class.
Nice. We'll just stick you in tramp.
I didn't think it was a tramp class. So, I was trying to work up some business. But anyway, so make a sanctuary in your home. That means fill it with things that you enjoy. If you like certain color, like greens and like earth tones.
If you
and stuff like that.
live plants in your house,
If you like
awesome one to do.
Really popular right now. The houseplant has made a comeback for Gen Z.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm really glad Gen Z brought that back because the world of plastic, I mean, they're also going to transition back to plastic plants.
They will, because then they'll realize they all die. And oh, wait, that was kind of negative. Whoops. Sorry about that.
Sorry, we vampired you.
Yeah.
You listen, you can put live plants or flake plants.
Flake plants.
Plants with flakes. Oh.
Another thing you can do with physical space is another sensory is the smell. I love doing incense, and I love doing and they have these things now where you can buy them, and they do the aromatic, and it's like it's an air freshener, but they have them like all over Instagram.
System.
Yes.
And you know who does that is our friend, member Michelle. She was a home builder, and she, in her house, every time you walk into her house, it always has
a certain scent.
It has a signature scent.
That's so badass.
And it's so freaking cool. So she was way ahead of the curve on this because she comes from the building world.
Oh, so cool.
So big shout out to her for that.
Seriously, if you ever walk into a W hotel, you notice they all smell the same. I saw one on Instagram. They're like, do you want your house to smell like a W hotel? I'm like, depends where. The kitchen, somebody's stinky bedroom, or the common area. Yes, I want the common area. That's like, it's like musk and anyways.
Yeah, you walk into people's houses and they have a smell, but that's a whole other. We could do a whole podcast on that.
We could do a whole.
But we're not going to. So make your home your sanctuary.
Yes.
And
the next strategy that I think is just as important as sensory smells is protecting mornings and evenings.
Ooh, that's a big one.
And that's harder to do than what it sounds like.
Yeah, because we kind of touched on it at the beginning where we said the minute your feet hit the ground, choose joy.
Yes.
And I think it's a really good thing to do in the morning. Keep your mornings to what makes you feel good. So if opening email and responding to text is not going to be a good thing for you, don't do it.
Some people need it because they need that adrenaline and that dopamine and that to kind of get them jump started.
Yeah.
So just know what your needs are. Yeah. Know what's going to get you cooking and what's going to send you,
A lot of people like to just get up, go through their morning routine, get their coffee.
Yes.
And then approach the day. But they like to have that first 10, 20 minutes. It can be 5 minutes for heaven's sakes. And then at night, I mean, shutting down the phones is a huge one. You guys, we all get way too much of that that bad negative light theory, blue light. We get that negative blue light energy coming through our phones. And if you're laying in bed watching stuff before you go to bed that gets your mind spinning like TikTok and all those different platforms, how do you expect your mind to just shut that off immediately? It's not possible. So I know I personally have a meditation app that I use, and there's a lot of them out there. And I've even told people here at the studio about them who are, have told me they have trouble going to sleep at night. It's like, you got to shut stuff down. And either that means like nice and dark and quiet, or perhaps you need the sound of the ocean crashing. Maybe that's the worst sound you could hear. Maybe you like a thunderstorm. Maybe you like birds. Maybe you don't. It's just finding whatever it is that takes
calms you down
away. Yep. And it can be literally 5 or 10 minutes. And that just gets you into that zone, that routine. Having a routine at night is really a good thing that you try to follow, where it's like you go and you take off your makeup, or you take a shower, or whatever relaxes you. You have a cup of tea.
Yes.
And then you go into this normal routine. Sleeping the same time at night, if you can, is usually ideal too, I think, with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Having just that regular, I go to bed around 10, I go to bed around 11, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
So routines help.
I would say the last strategy too that we want to talk about is just protecting your peace and doing something consistently, no matter what, that helps to protect your peace. Shameless plug for the studio. Go to dance class. Go to things that you have to be present for, that you're not listening to all the clutter that goes through, throughout our daily lives and in our heads. It's go do something where you're present and you have to do something else. Maybe you are not local, and maybe you're like, you know what, that is painting for me. Maybe that is working in the garden. Maybe that's doing other things that are an escape from all of the mental clutter we all have in our heads sometimes. And that is a non-negotiable. Like it has to be about protecting your mental health before you can start having all these big discussions about my emotional blanket, your emotional blanket. No. You know what I mean? Like you've got to, it starts with you. It has to. It starts with your mental being and your self-awareness. And am I balanced? Am I balanced out to be able to have those interpersonal conversations when I need to, right?
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Absolutely.
The last one, and I think is a really good finale one to end on, is if you're only saying yes to do something or whatever it is because of guilt or obligation. And I know plenty of people, plenty of moms that do this because they spread themselves way too thin. Yeah. Stop explaining if you just say no. Don't do it. Yeah. Life is too short. And I cannot impress this upon enough people that I know, that are personally, I know, listening. Like, you're not going to win an award by making sure that you're at every single thing. If your relationships are tried and true, people understand when you don't have the time all the time to drop everything for a blah, 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 blah thing on a Tuesday night, like, or whatever it is. I get social stuff is fun. I get it, but time is a premium. Life is short.
Yep.
So
respect yourself.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. We've covered the whole friggin' kit and caboodle today, haven't we?
Sure dang diddly did.
Did we just go to the country? I like it. Where are my boots, Jodi?
Oh, I don't know what. I think they're hanging on that rack with your
Oh my God, you guys, by the way, I wore chaps today in class trying to be Britney Spears.
She had pants underneath.
I did have pants. I did have pants on, well, like little booty shorts. But hey, it was a Britney Spears day. Okay, whatever. Let me have my fun. I like it. You know what?
That's right.
Listen, theatrical fitness is where it's at. Here, just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there.
But on that note, listen, we did a lot of good boundary setting. We did a lot of self-realization check-ins.
We are choosing joy actively.
We are choosing joy actively. We did an energy audit.
Yes.
We did everything. We did all the things.
I've never felt so damn positive.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up on this episode of No Gossip, Just Saying. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Make sure to hit follow and subscribe. And if you love today's episode, leave a comment on YouTube or drop us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on.
And until next time, no gossip.
Just saying.